Welcome to episode 1. We are going to go back in time. We're going to use Blender and Unity and create pterodactyls, one pterodactyl from start to finish, creating the skin modifier, adding texture material to the skin modifier, rigging it, exporting it with the FBX file format, and importing it into Unity, creating a loop with an Animator controller as a smoke test. Simple as that. So let's begin. All right, here we are in Blender, ready to make our first pterodactyl. All right, so the scene starts with the camera and the light. We're gonna just turn them off. We don't need to look at them. And then the cube. Right now we're here in object mode. Let's go tab. You can actually press the tab button, or you can scroll down and press edit. And we're gonna go into edit mode. And we're gonna press M on the keyboard and collapse. Okay, so now it's one vertex. You can't see it, but it's highlighted still. And we're going to go to modifiers. We're going to add first mirror, leave it be as it is. Then we're going to add skin, don't touch anything there. And then we're going to add subdivision surface in that order. Okay, let's press 1 on the number pad. That makes the front. And right here, if we scroll out, we can see the cubes in the background. These two, this should be 2 meters. So what we're going to do is actually scale down the object right here. Pressing, if you're in edit mode, you have to do Control A, and it'll scale it down a little smaller. Excuse me. And then we're going to move it with G. You can see it's a tiny little thing. And actually, let's see where we are. Okay, we're at 4 meters, so we want to go to 1 meter, which is actually right here. And it's important to scale that you're at. So these cubes are relevant. We can actually press the period on the number pad and we can center on the screen. We're in edit mode. Select, we can come up here, see through. And I'm gonna press E to extrude. I'm gonna go up just enough where the skin modifier kind of helps take form. I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna basically go in all 4 directions here. And because we, because we have the mirror, we can go over here. You can see it's getting a little weird, but I want to try and keep it as symmetrical as possible. Press G. I'll move it down a little bit. And then the center one, I'm going to press Mark Root over here. And now everything's going to pretty much stay in the middle. Okay, this is going to be our start point. Right here, you can rename the cube if you like, but no need. I would save at this point. And here's where it gets interesting. So basically, we're going to say this is the hip, the center, and you have our artistic license basically to do what you like. If I press Control A to scale, press 0 on the keyboard and enter, you can see it goes to this point is 0 right there, which you can't get sharper than that. So I'm just going to basically use the skin modifier vertexes and extrude and to make basically a leg shape, right? So here's the hip, and it's gonna try and keep it as relevant to an armature we're gonna create later. All right, so here's the hip, and I'm gonna go to where the knee would be, and then I'm gonna go to 3 on the number pad and move it forward. And really the reason to do this is when you do make the armature, you wanna have it in a kind of bent position. And I'm going to come back here for the heel, and then up forward for the foot. Control A, start scaling, start kind of controlling the aesthetic of it a little bit. I selected the heel, and I can again press period on the number pad. I'm going to extrude back. Okay, so this is something you're going to want to do for many reasons. It's going to help control the surface rotation of the skin modifier. So that way your foot actually will look like, it'll behave like how you want it. When we go here on the number 1 on the numpad, you can see that everything's straight actually. If I got rid of this, if I deleted, let's see here, delete vertices. Oh, what's going on? That's not good. Okay, delete vertices. Now if I go to number 1, you can see, I guess it held. Okay, well, let's continue that way. Let's see if that's actually a technique that might work to imply a kind of symmetry and then remove it what created it. Some kind of evolution, huh? How about that? Aesthetic evolution. All right, I'm going to create here a kind of foot, or with the toes. This kind of construction is important to do it somewhat how I'm doing it. And then here we can extrude. For the toes, I'm going to press Control A, press 0, so it scales to 0. And you kind of get a sense there. Now, I built it fairly well, meaning that if it wasn't, like if I press Control A, you can actually scale it down. You can see it can get a little weird. This is not bad because these three are symmetrical, 1, 2, 3. So it doesn't have any weird shapes, but if I keep adding more, it would. And then you could just use the scale up to resolve those shape issues. Okay, gonna move quickly here. The aesthetics, get a general idea. So here's the thing, we're in the middle. You need to extrude. I'm actually going to make a strange kind of shape here, just to kind of show you who can do it. Okay, here, so we want to be as symmetrical as possible, but you can see here, I'm trying to connect the two mirrored skins, and I went across the center line. Come up here, zero it out, boom, look at that. It cleans it right up for you. E to extrude, I'm going to continue up. Now, that's fine. And we can also actually go, you can actually go over the center line if you want and continue, but I'm not going to. I don't want to make it too difficult. E to extrude, get some shoulder. E to extrude to help get a neck. I'm going to continue to make, I'm not going to make it look too much like that great, but I just want to get kind of the idea of Control A. Maybe you can extrude, look at that. Pretend those are fingers. Control A, 0. And they are connected, which is a little bizarre. That's kind of cool, actually. See it on the other side. Okay, 3 on the number pad. I'm going to do a kind of thing here. So it looks like a balanced head here. And then extrude here. See how it gets weird with the geometries. Extrude here. I'm going to press G, move it a little bit. Very strange, right? See how it kind of gets strange. If I'm in X-ray mode, if I toggle out, you can see you don't want any weird vertice things. I know this is weird, but it actually will work out. This is okay. I'm going to press Control A, 0, just to give it a sharp look on the scaling of the nose. Let me do that again. Control A, 0. There we go. And you can do something else that's cool. Control A, say X, 0. And you can do it in that angle, or Control A, Y, 0. Oh, well, that's because the X was zeroed out. But you can do it in both directions. All right, so here's a basic shape of a pterodactyl. I know it's not great, but the important part is it does have the kind of basic geometry that we're looking for. So I'm going to go up here to shading. Okay, a little slow. It's already got a shader. The good news is there's a skin shader. Which using nodes actually makes it a little bit challenging, but I'm going to go here and add in post-production right there. This is the kind of palette color to just take one to base color, and it's going to get strange. That's not good. Let's see here, go to subsurface as well, and linear closest. Okay, it's black because it's transparent actually. So here's what we got to do. So this is the problem with using nodes. You want to use a node, but here's the issue. We're going to go back to our model, and we have to do a couple of little maneuvers. So I'm going to be in tab to go to object mode, select the whole thing. First, we want to make sure the geometries are good, which they are. And we're going to apply all the modifiers. So apply the mirror, apply the skin, and apply. And you can actually increase the subdivision. See, it gets better. But you want to construct it in one. So any weird, because basically when you build it, it's going to have a base of this, even though it could look with more subdivisions. So leave it at 1 for now to keep this simple, and definitely build it with 1. Apply. Okay, so now I'm going to tab. Now we're in edit mode. I'm going to see there's a little bit selected here on the mirror side, and they're symmetrical, but they're not. So I'm actually going to press A to select all, right click on the mouse, merge vertices by distance. Okay, see 8, removed 8 vertices. These were duplicates. It removed duplicate vertices. We don't want those. I'm going to press U on the keyboard, unwrap, smart UV project. Boom. 60, it's defaulted 66 degrees, that's fine. Okay. What did I just do? If I go up here to UV, you see the shape? It put that shape unfolded onto my palette. So if I go here, we can go to see what it looks like. That's kind of what it looks like. So if I scale this, I have them all selected. Scale X, oh no, scale Y. We'll just do it like that, so you kind of get a more of an idea what's going on. And you can definitely specify, you know, in detail. But there you can see what's kind of going on here, object mode, right? And you can play with it. But the best part is this is a skin modifier. Now you have the ability to put in different colors, and that's kind of the main point, which can be very difficult with these. Okay, number 1 on the number pad, Control Shift A, Armature, single bone, boom, right there. Go here to viewport display in front so we can see it. I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to move it up, G, into this position. Press period on the numpad so I can get closer. And we're going to build the armature. Okay, I'm going to press here. Go to edit mode. You need to extrude down. I'm going to make the leg. I'm going to select the whole thing. Control P, clear parent. G, move it. You can go up above the bottom of the hip, even though you were there earlier. Go to 3. I'm going to click this. G, it actually helps scale it. And you can be artistic with this. E to extrude, come here. E to extrude, come here. 1 back on the numpad. I select this. Control P. Oh, sorry. Select this. Then select this one. Then all. Sorry. Control P. Keep offset. You can see it does go to the top there, which is fine. Now we're going to continue extruding. And I'm going to make it simple. E to extrude all the way up to where the shoulder would be. 3 on numpad. E to extrude. You know, we could. I know this one probably is going to be challenging, but I'll just do 1 right there for now. Okay, and I'm going to select here. And why I'm doing less bones is because it gets heavy. It gets difficult to animate. So if you already know, if you're just building a prototype, this is the best way to get an idea. Then you can make it more complicated later. E to extrude, we're going to have a shoulder bone. E to extrude, upper arm. E to extrude, lower arm, and then we'll call this the hand. So on a pterodactyl, this is actually its pinky in its geometry. So it's a very cool creature. That's why I like working with it at this point. Okay, here's the basic shape of a humanoid, really. I know the pterodactyl, you don't think of it as a humanoid, but I did build this out somewhat like that. I'm going to select on here. This will be the root. I'm going to do a simple animation. Function F2, rename. This one is root. We're going to call this one upper leg dot L. This one will be obviously lower leg dot L. And this one will be foot dot L. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're going to symmetrize and mirror it to the other side. We're going to keep this one simple. Spine, it's already in the center, so we're not going to add a right or a left. If you did, there are some techniques that would actually duplicate and would make a problem later, which we don't want to deal with. So we're going to manually rename all of these bones as I'm doing. Head. All right, again, function F2, shoulder dot L, function F2, upper arm dot L, lower arm dot L, hand dot L. Okay, save it. So this is the basic armature, very basic armature. Next, we're going to add a couple of IKs, inverse kinematic bones. So E to extrude on the heel here, and E to extrude on the knee here. Okay, and then I'm going to rename this one IK target dot L. And I'm actually going to clear parent, but leave it in place. This one I'm going to rename IK pole dot L. And we're going to clear parent, and we're going to move it. I'm going to show you in a second why. Okay, everything's renamed. We're actually going to go ahead and kind of build out some of the animation. So we have this bone selected, press tab. And let's see, this bone selected, going into pose mode. And now here, we can actually add the inverse kinematic. So right here we have the bone tab, add bone, bone constraint, which we're going to do. Inverse kinematic. You can see it selected it, added this line. This is actually, this is the chain length line. It's at 0 right now, that's why it's going to the root. But first we're going to go here to target, armature, bone, should be IK target, where is it? Target.L, and then pole target, armature, and then IK pole.L. Well, what happened? That's normal. Pole angle, we'll say 90. Might be negative 90, we'll say 90 for now. And chain length is the amount of really bones that it will be affected by. So 1 does that, and in this case 2 does that, and you can see it's clearly backwards. So we're going to go to negative 90. Okay, so that's kind of the basic. If we had a different, like a bird, I know this is a bird, but this the knees are bending forward. If you had the bird design with the knees bending backwards, you have actually an extra bone, and your chain length would be 3, because you'd actually have 3 bones, because their hip bone moves like a leg bone. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, well, I'll show you what happens. So right now, if I go to 3 here, I press G, it moves. How about that? Escape, let it fall back into place. So there's a couple things we can do. We can actually, I'm going to, so with this one selected, I'm going to deselect the form here and here. Might have to do this a couple times because when we connect it to the armature, to the skin, you don't want these to deform along with the body. Okay. So we're in pose mode. We can tab into edit mode. We want to get to object mode. I actually are going to go to 1. I'm actually going to press, we want to get into edit mode again. Here we go. Edit mode, A to select all. I'm going to press Shift N. And this one's not complicated, but I want to recalculate roll to view axis, which is the front. And if the bones were weird, they would do that. They would all kind of align their axes, which is up here, which Z is up. Okay. Now I'm going to symmetrize. Sounds cool, right? Function F3 to search. You can actually type in there, Armature Symmetrize, boom, and it put all those same bones on the other side. Renamed them .R. So that's perfect. Now, excuse me, I'm going to press object mode. We got that all selected. Then I'm going to shift select the body, and I'm going to shift P. Where are we at? Sorry. Oh, the other way. The body, then the armature. Control P. Set parent with automatic weights. Boom. What? That's not good. How about that? It went backwards. It flipped it. Well, that's interesting. That's inherent rotation. Did I forget to do that? Okay. We're going to go here. This is the inherent rotation problem. Right there. See, it says that. I can't select it. We need to select it. Boom. Boom. Backwards. There we go. Not that one. It's the other one. Okay. That was weird, right? Now let's double check, make sure that we don't want any of these IKs deforming, which they're not, because we made sure before. Okay, inherent rotation. So inherent rotation, I'll get more complicated models. Also, look at this. And this is normal. I know it seems not normal. Chain length 90. Let's try regular 90. Boom, puts the knee back where we want it. I'm going to select the other one. 90. Okay, the reason why any of this happens is because I didn't do the inherent rotation deselect before parenting the body, armature to the body. Okay, so that's set. Let's go to animation tab. I'm going to press 3. You can see it's facing that way. Compress, control 3, faces the other way. That's the best way to reverse if you want. I mean, most animations you're going kind of left to right anyway. So that's typically how you want to see it. So what we should be able to do, I press A on the armature, control A, or just A, rotate. Everything should go with the armature. Press G. Nothing is doing weird stuff. If I press here, G, goes straight down. You see how it kind of behaves as you expect. Okay, perfect. Boom, boom. And this is, again, very simple design with the armatures, just to get an idea for the beginning. Okay, control 3. So let's make a quick, easy animation. So right here, dope sheet. We don't want that, but it's dope. Action editor. Boom. I'm going to go here, new, action. We're going to press this, fake user. Basically what that means is you're going to get an extra saving procedure while you're working because these, I'll show you later, there's extra animations, sub-animations that you can have, because this is not just for exporting to make video games, but animations purely within Blender for, you know, making cool graphics. Press here this keyframe, auto keyframing. We're on 1. I'm going to press I on the keyboard, insert location and rotation, and it adds 2 keyframes here at 1. I'm actually going to make it say 22 right there. Shorten, you know, give it a little more realistic distance here. We're going to have 22 frames that we're going to work with. So on the first one, we want it to kind of flap. It's not really built for flapping, but let's make it, we'll make it walk. How about that? Which is a strange thing for this creature, but first thing, I'll lower it a little bit. Boom. I'm going to actually take the right leg and I'm going to move it back a little bit. And because we don't have the inherent rotation, when I press R, it doesn't do the foot how we would expect normally, which is okay for now. I'm going to move it like that. Actually, I'm going to rotate the foot. The problem with this is that you're going to have to do this every time you keyframe. I'm going to go to 3 here. I'm going to move it back a little more. And I'm going to move this a little more. Boom. Maybe move it up a little bit. And then I'm going to go to 6. Move it up a little more. And I'm going to bring the leg G, bring it back. So that's more neutral position. Bring this one forward. It's kind of crossing over. And then that's 6. And then we're going to go to 9. This one will move forward. This one will bring back. So you got to rotate it because it gets weird, like that. Bring it up a little more. Okay. So press play. See it kind of walking, shuffling. I'm going to go here. I'm going to press A, select all. I'm going to Shift Control C. Oops. Shift Control C down here. And then I'm going to bring it over here to, we're on 9, 10, 11, 12. Shift Control V. Boom. That was weird. Kept going. It missed a lot of what I was trying to do. Okay. Let's see here. And then I'm going to double click. It's not perfect, obviously. Box, B for box select. Select all of the first keyframes, Control C. Or Control D, sorry. Well, you can do either, but they're going to behave differently. So if I do Control C and then come here all the way to the end and do Control V, it's like it's it's not mirroring, but it's like it's, yeah. See how it's bizarre behavior. Another technique we can do is Shift E, make cyclic. That's not really going to do anything in this case because we continue the animation all the way through. It's like it's kicking and then it starts over. But you can see, because I have this outside of the last frame, it starts at the beginning position, so it just continues. So, you know, I'm not going to rework this, but you can see it's something moving. And the key here is to get an idea, and definitely got to work with especially leg movements. So this is like walking, and it's kicking. How about that? So now what I'm going to do, assume this is okay, which for this purpose will be, because we've got movement, we've got action. So what I'm going to do is go here to Object. I'm going to go to the bone properties, and I'm going to generate rig. Excuse me, boom, look at that. Now we have a rig because we're going to export it. Then I'm going to select the armature, we're going to select the skin, select Shift, hold, select the armature, then select the rig, and we're going to parent them with automatic weights. Boom, they're all selected. We actually have a rig now. I'm going to export it as an FBX. Export here, FBX. I'm going to go into this folder, which is fine. Okay, selected objects, very important. Well, we'll leave that for now, but FBX unit scale, apply transform, only deform bones, you could do that. Export as FBX, that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's see how this went. Let's see what we got here. Where is it? This is probably not, no. It went into my Unity folder, which is not really where I wanted it to go yet. But the point is we're going to see, hopefully, what it looks like in the FBX viewer, which doesn't always, okay, that worked. Kept it clean. There's two animations because it's not clean. The reason why there's two, and this is actually pretty good, meaning it got to the output stage. So why is there two animations that are right here? This is that. Remember the fake user? This one doesn't have it. So if we go here, action editor, sorry, this one over here, non-linear animation, you see this? Here's that extra one. Here's both of them. Here's that extra one, and we can actually delete it. I'm not going to do that, but if you were doing multiple ones, you want to resolve that, not export extra animations you don't need, because I'm going to go here to Unity, boom, and it went in, where did it go? It went in somewhere, it went into packages. I don't know where it went because we saved it in here, but I don't usually do that. Let's see. So when it saved it in user settings, definitely not where we want it to go. So I'm just going to drag it into here for now. Okay, so we have our character here. We can't see anything yet, but I'm going to click on it and actually, and you never want to put it in scenes, but you know, this is to show you what's going on. Okay, see where it comes with armature. This is the base shape cube. I didn't rename it. Material. We want to bring in the material as well, because we did add a material, if you remember, which was this PNG. So I'll just bring it in here. It's down there. Boom. Look familiar? There it is. Albedo. It's over there as a shader. Armature. If we click that, we press here, you can see, and because I brought it in, the color you can see, and there's why with the export you can change the orientation, but it's in there. And rig. Okay, so if I click up here on this main start point, kind of come here, animation type, that's fine. Create the avatar from this model, boom, and apply. Creates another object over here. We need this, so you want to bring it onto the scene. We can actually make it move. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm actually going to bring this here and drag it over here. Boom, it's right there. Right here, you see it asks for the avatar because we made it. It's there. Now it's asking for another thing, a animator controller. Well, we don't have one yet. Without that, it ain't going to do anything. If I press play, it's playing. Don't destroy on load, nothing's happening, even though we have an animation built in. Okay, so what we got to do is create an animator controller. Two things, one here, animator, boom. What? Can't be added because episode already contains the same component. Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong spot. We go here. Oh, it already has it, yeah, because, hold on a second. Here it is. Look at that. No, but there's no controller. Okay, right click in here into the assets, right click, create. Usually you want to create a folder, but we're not going to. Animator controller, new animator controller. You want to rename it because it'll get out of control if you don't. There it is. You can see those things over there. Let's see here. So this is the most basic. It comes like this, default. Entry, any state, we don't have any states, and then exit, and this is the controller. So I press here on the avatar. We press on the avatar and drag it into here. Oh, what's going on? Click on the avatar. It doesn't want to move. Oh, I'm sorry, the armature, not the avatar. A words. Boom, okay. It automatically creates this arrow, and then from here, you know, you can, when we add more stuff, you right click, make transitions, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to press play. And it'll only move one time through the cycle, or not at all. Why is it not moving? Animator controller, oh, I know why. Because we didn't put it, you got to drag it in. I know, that's ridiculous, right? Boom. Yeah. Okay, now if I press play, it's going to walk through the 22 one time. Boom, doesn't do any more. Why is that? Because we have to create the animation, in this case, loop time. That's so it just keeps looping. Apply. Now, it's going to continue. See how it's, well, it's looping. It's not showing the graphic of it doing it here. But that's what we basically were trying to get it to do. This is the most basic sequence to get something going through making it, importing it, getting it to move in Unity, and the rest is going to be a lot of work in Unity. But this is kind of the smoke test to get it going. That is the end of episode 0. I hope, episode 1, excuse me, I hope you enjoyed and got a lot out of, or at least beginning to get an idea of how to make these characters. As we're going to make functional NFTs, but this is the beginning, this is the point, the purpose is to just make, this is the sequence to start making things that are working. And with that, thank you so much. Please subscribe. I am going to continue with more and hope to talk to you soon again in the future. Goodbye for now.